What's up, beautiful people? Today we're bringing Jesse Lee Peterson back to the channel, and this one says the guest threatens him during the interview. I'm interested to see it. I mean, if you know this man, you know he has very controversial views. Some of you think he's thought-provoking. Some of you think he's absolutely correct on everything he says. Well, regardless of what you think, I'm interested to see this one, so let's get to it.
You have a whole bunch of fancy words that has no meaning. I think that good actions speak louder than words. And what should be happening, rather than you guys carrying on like this, running up and down and complaining, why don't you start building and encourage black people to stop destroying and let the world see that there's more to them than complaining about what somebody else is or not doing. And
that thing he said, so in a previous video, just for context for people that might not understand, I'll take it all the way back. But in a previous video he had said, I think it was in Dr. Phil, he said white people should have more babies because only white people build, other races including the black race destroy. So if you notice, he just quoted himself again in this interview where he said stop destroying and start building. Pay attention, you hear it. I'm just giving you context where it all started.
That's no meaning. I think that good actions speak louder than words. And what should be happening, rather than you guys carrying on like this, running up and down and complaining, why don't you start building and encourage black people to stop destroying and let the world see that there's more to them than complaining about what somebody else is or not doing. And that's the role of the men. That's the role of the men, is to do rather than to just use a lot of fancy words. All you're doing is use a lot of fancy words.
I'm
talking to you.
Jesse,
you said a whole bunch of stuff and nobody know what you mean about it.
You must be talking about those other groups, because I said it once before. You must didn't hear me.
Where are you building homes?
People to unify. We are telling people to practice group economics.
Where are you building homes?
More gun sales in the last 3 months.
Where are you doing this? You're saying it. Where is it happening?
We've done more in 3 months.
Where?
Some people in the civil rights movement did in the entire movement.
Where?
What do you mean where?
Where are you building?
The country. Statistics have shown that ever since we started the campaign, which began in Brunswick, since you didn't ask, which began in Brunswick with Ahmaud Arbery, ever since we started our campaign, gun sales and gun classes and gun certifications amongst black people are up 52%. That's something that's never been done before.
The last thing black people need right now is a gun.
They are inspired by the sight of watching, as you said, and I have to agree with you, when I see black people that are unorganized, that are a mob that's just complaining and don't have any plan, I'm right along with you. That is not what we're a part of. That's one of the reasons we came forward, just as you said, to be organized, to have a roadmap, to inspire, to educate, and then to be able to defend in the need that we have. If you notice, we've broken no laws. We've not killed one person. Not one person has been arrested.
Who did this edit? So he's contradicting himself. He said no laws have been broken. Grandmaster J, militia leader who had home in West, spent 7 years plus in prison. Wow, this was recent too. Oh, after this interview. 2023, 26 January. Wow, so he broke a law then.
No property. We've done none of those things that these other people have done. We have presented a very sensible, logical, as you say, organized institution that has embraced everything that you said and have put those things out. But since we've only been on the stage in 3 months, even though in those 3 months we've built an international coalition and have gotten endorsements from other agencies around the globe, because we're doing just what you said. You see, we're the ones who are trying to do just what you said. We're trying to bring back the things you just talked about. But we've only been in existence 3 months. And in those 3 months, what have we done? We've done more to motivate, unify the black people in this country, and I can show you all the receipts you need. But if I don't know where you're looking, but by the way you started off this conversation, you haven't looked in the right place, because you didn't even do your research on the NFAC.
Let me ask, as a man, and I find it really odd as a male, because I didn't grow up seeing this. It's odd to me to see black men begging for reparation and crying about systemic racism or blaming white people for their downfall. Normally, men overcome situations and the women and children follow. But the black men are acting just like the black women, and they're acting like the white man is smarter than them, that the white man can do better than them. So by complaining and blaming, you're hurting yourself rather than coming together as an American people.
He's not actually wrong about that. I mean, not completely wrong, I'll put it that way. Because a lot of people in the black communities like to have this victim's mentality. I grew up in the hood, so I can't do this. I grew up in the hood, so this is hard. That's why I carried this. We had to sell drugs. Like, we understand, life was hard when you were growing up. But again, like I said in my previous video, life is a lot harder in some other countries where people don't. I told somebody the other day where he was saying, and we were talking about the pandemic of, is it opioid pandemic in Canada? I'm like, people are drug is too expensive for people to be addicted where I'm from. So you couldn't even sell drugs to get out of poverty. You couldn't do anything to get out of poverty. Like it was that kind of poverty for those guys. Like my parents did well, so I didn't have to go through that. But for other kids, it wasn't the same thing. You couldn't do drugs to get out of poverty. You couldn't complain. Some people where you don't have food, you're getting ready to die. Like it was that tough. So when black men in America are complaining like this, I don't know much about America, but I can tell that you guys are doing a lot better than, some people. Like I can just tell. That's just my opinion, my thought. Let me know what you think. Feel free to share yours.
Stop you right now.
Put it forward ever. It's not attractive to see men complain like that.
I'm going to do this one more time for you, and if you don't get this, we can end this interview. You're not listening. You keep saying the same thing over again, and I don't go in circles.
Do you feel normal? Does it feel right to be complaining?
No one's blaming.
You complain about systemic racism and you want reparations.
We're not begging for reparations.
You do want reparations.
What the steps are to get reparations. The steps to get reparations, and I've taught on this. You can't pay reparations to a color. You can only pay reparations to a country. I've already taught on this, that black people in this country need to stop asking for something that can't be paid to them in their current state. I've taught on this. I've told them that once you decide to declare yourself a sovereign, liberated country, then you can petition for reparations. So I'm not begging. We haven't begged for a damn thing because we haven't even taken the first step to put us in a position for black people to get reparations. So no one's begging. Additionally, there's been no downfall here. You've seen the NFAC. We're fully equipped. We're well dressed.
That's what throws me off. If you guys can dress up like that.
Veterans of this country, we are all people. We're not the people in the streets that you're talking about. We're the actual responsible homeowners, gun owners, and voters that got together under the Constitution and formed a militia to address what we saw happening to our communities.
So
we're not complaining. We're not asking for anything. The people you're talking about are the people you see protesting in the streets right now. We don't protest. The people you're talking about are the ones out destroying, like Antifa and Black Lives Matter. We don't do that. The ones you're talking about are the ones who are running up on politicians or who never vote. You're not talking about us. We're the other side. I'm just like you, my friend. I'm almost 60 years old. I'm not a child at this, and I've been around this world for quite a few times.
But what you're missing, hold on.
We're not asking, we're not begging. We're actually taking the steps under the law that we can to move ourselves into a position to get the things that we can get for ourselves.
It sounds like they both have very similar stands.
Even if it means going somewhere else to establish our own ethno-nation, not here in the United States, but somewhere else where we've had a conversation with two countries willing to grant us sovereign land to grow our own country. That's our mission. Our
mission is not to ask the
white man for anything.
If you can't do it here, you won't be able to do it anywhere. Because there are no other country that's greater than America. But what I just want to say, when you're crying systemic racism and this and that and the white man this, you're feeding you're deceiving the people rather than helping them. But what I want to ask you, you guys are complaining about George Floyd and these black people who are getting killed.
But he said he's not a part of the Black Lives Matter and Antifa.
About George Floyd and these black people who are getting killed or hurt by cops. You're not encouraging these people when the cops stop you. Follow the instructions. Don't run. Don't attack the cops. these people are putting their own lives on the line, but I never hear you people say that. You guys blame the cops,
First of all,
but you
I'm
don't
going to say this
blame.
one last time. I don't know who your producers are, but if you call me you people one more time, you and I are going to have this conversation in person. I'm not you people.
You people, categorization. Actually, yeah, I wouldn't like that categorization, you people, because again, what is the categorization? What are you putting them in? That was an interesting one. It got a little bit heated, but I get their stance. Jesse Lee Peterson wasn't wrong. You know, sometimes he says a lot of things that are over the board, but I don't think he was particularly wrong on his stance, what he was trying to say on that video. I don't think so. But the man seems to have had common grounds with a lot of the things Jesse Lee Peterson was saying. Yeah, I think he agreed with Jesse Lee Peterson, but he just has another, should I say extreme? Maybe not. Yeah, I think it's extreme because he's talking about going outside of America to build a new country. Somebody could say that is extreme, right? Correct me if I'm wrong. And also, he said they were not involved in anything that was criminal. And then he was sentenced to 7 years in prison. Yeah, I need to be enlightened on that. I don't want to really speak on that, but it's a long, you know, it's not like probation or house arrest for a few months or community service. Like 7 years in prison, that's a long sentence. So it means something might have happened. I'm not sure what. I'll go check and then I'll give you the information later. Anyways, let me know what you think about that. It was a very interesting debate right there. I was going to say discussion, but it was an argument. Say, don't call me you people anymore, which I don't blame. Like, I don't fault him for that. I wouldn't like anybody calling me like you people. Like, where are you categorizing me? Where are you placing me? Because he clearly said we are not part of the Antifa, the Black Lives Matter movement. And then Jesse Lee Peterson mostly referring to him as you people. I can tell why that could be disrespectful. Anyways, smash the like button and subscribe if you're new to the channel. And I'll see you on the next one. Peace.